Welcome back, YouTubers and supporters. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe for crazy content. The sun is so bright. So, in this week's video, I'm going to be removing pretty much the top of it, finally. So I know I'm missing a step and a tool for this. Can't get this out just yet, so I'm going to skip this for now and continue on with taking all the, 20 plus bolts on top of this cam cover. Using the T25 to get this screw right here from the actuator, you're just going to pop that out and there it is. To access this screw, which we're using the T30 I believe to get, T30 to get to the rest of these, including this one right here, all throughout the cam cover. Now that I've gotten all the bolts and solenoids out, I need to get this last one. Just to show you as reference, you can see the gap in there. There, the camshaft. Now, after we got all those bolts down, these solenoids and sensors, we're now going to go to the back. We're going to get a socket. I forgot the size. I dropped it somewhere after I unscrewed one bolt. So, we're going to remove this bolt right here, this one right here, and then the other one right here. So there's going to be 3 bolts you got to take out on the back. And as you can see right here, this gasket's messed up. So we are going to have to replace that gasket in the future with a brand new one. Alright, after I removed those 3 bolts, I was able to pop that off to the side. At the same time, pull the cam cover out like I did right here. Now that I have that popped out, the camshafts are a little bit loose. And because there's still tension in it, even after I removed all the bolts from the cam bridge, I am going to have to unbolt the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, this is pretty dirty. Screws for this cover, but in order to get that, I'm going to have to remove the timing belt, these bolts right here, and a few other things. I'll do that step by step. Now, once we have all those bolts taken off, we're going to go to the alternator, disconnect the alternator so we can loosen up the timing belt. Once we have the timing belt removed, we can then get to the cover of the timing chain and then remove the timing chain to remove the camshafts. Whew. So now let's start beginning by unbolting these 2 and these 2 down here. Alright, so after unbolting these 4 bolts with a 14mm socket, I believe, the alternator is really loose, and so is the timing belt. We can get rid of that timing belt right now. There you go. And I will be replacing this. So long. Let's see what other components. Oh no, that's it. The alternator comes off like that. And I accidentally took off the cover because I thought there was a bolt in the back. So let's put that where it belongs. I just cleaned this plug and I never even knew which one would it disconnect from, right here or up here. I finally got it off. And we are back on track. And this is what I did. It was pretty simple. I just went to Home Depot, purchased about $50 worth of tools. I bought this because I didn't know which size I needed. And I bought these sockets and this wrench, whatever. There it is. Let's see what size this is. This is a 24mm, I think. Let's see. Sorry for the shakiness of this video. I did not buy a tripod yet. Yeah, it's this size right here. I don't know. I'll show you that in a second. But as you see right here, we're now removing it. I put my car in neutral, by the way. Let's just show you that. I had to reconnect my battery, put the car in neutral, but of course it has the parking brake on. I don't know, I've heard on the internet that some people put it in neutral and it was easier to take off, or I don't know what the whole story is, but I think neutral is the right way to go. And yeah, I'm leaking a little bit of gas right here. It smells strong. That 93 with E8.5 gas mixed together. The next thing I'm going to do is going to get a big flathead like this, pry it off. Now that we got that off, there we go. I don't even know how to remove this. I'm going to have to look up a manual. using the Torx 27 for this, I'm gonna take this actuator off, this arm, which is basically the tensioner that's keeping this whole thing in place. I'm also gonna have to do something right here too, this one in here too. Okay, so some of you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I had to improvise a bit because I do not have the tool to remove this from the cam bridge. I'm just gonna have to improvise by basically, I just pulled the timing chain out of its place. I think this is the oil tensioner, which I popped it out of place. It was actually loose. I didn't have to force anything out. I just had to pry it out. It was really simple. Here's the chain. Once I have that, this is gonna be kind of difficult. I popped the exhaust shaft from the cam bridge, and because I cannot disconnect this from the intake cam bridge, I just decided to pop this off out of place, and there we go. This is kind of heavy to do with one hand. Alright, there you go. Finally got that out. I am going to replace my cam bridge to the newest revision. I'm also going to be installing a new timing chain as well, a new oil chain or whatever. Let's see, now that we have this, we can remove this too. This was actually pretty simple. I just popped this out of place, and there you go. Here's the opening, and I'm working on a very limited amount of tools right now because I left my T50 Torx screw at my apartment, and I'm in my parents' place right now, so I'm kind of screwed right now. It's nearly 10 o'clock. I can't go to Home Depot or Advanced Auto Parts or AutoZone to buy any of these stuff because they're all closed. Yo, my neighbor came in clutch. Thank you, Ariel. So amazing. He knows his shit. Okay, so I got the extension for the spark plug, so I took off one. Now let's get the other spark plugs removed. And let's see. We are, well, where is that? I don't know where the extension is, but he got all these loosened up for the most part. Help me out with that. I don't even know where the extension, oh, there it is. This is what I use because I don't have the Torx whatever, but this works out too. It goes into that ratchet. And I heard you have to do them in the pattern, like, I don't know, like zigzag or something like that. I don't know, he did it for me because this is the stuff that you need to be really careful with what you're doing because you could crack something or whatever. So now let's just begin unscrewing these right now. And then these four. After using a 16mm socket to unscrew these spark plugs, you're going to get a coil pack and just hook it on to the spark plug, and that's how you get them. Simple as that. There we go. And now we can finish up the rest of these screws, which I already have done. We're going to remove these two bolts off the back of the top block. I already got all the bolts out. And as you can see, let's just pull this up. Actually, it's a lot easier if I just do it from this angle. There it is. So, for the most part, it's almost loose. I still need to get a couple things out of the way. After you move this back hose right here with the two bolts, you're going to go to the front and just start disconnecting these with the T50. I basically improvised and used this. Where is it? This right here. Because I don't have the T50. I left it in my apartment. And because I accidentally stripped this one and this one, those two are stuck right there. So I am leaving to my apartment at 11 p.m. and coming back here again just to finish this off because I'm pissed off. I just stripped it just a bit. But I got most of them out. Like, this one's already loose. All these tensioners and shit like that. I don't even know the specific names. That's what happens when you improvise. You start stripping stuff out. Yo. Something loose. Oh, that cable goes in the way.
¿Ves?
¿Ya?
¿Qué? No me saques.
Ya te saqué.
No, quítame de ahí. Vamos.
Okay. Oh. We'll get to see the bottom of the pistons, the rods soon, but now, like, I just lift this up just a bit and the whole thing just slanted that way. And here's the gap. You can see my heads and the gasket in there. Well, the thing is, this is also connected to the turbo. The turbo is also connected to the downpipe. And because my exhaust system is pretty short, I can just disconnect my downpipe with the flex pipe, all that stuff. And this is the turbo right here. From what I read and heard is that you have to disconnect this bolt and this one right here and this one, or I mean you gotta disconnect the turbo from the frame of the car, and then this whole thing can come up. But this is pretty heavy. I picked it up like just a little bit because it's still stuck in place. It weighs about 80 plus pounds. I don't know. But let's see. Let's just start off by disconnecting. It's kind of hard to tell when you move it. Alright, so when we're shaking it, this whole thing, I disconnected the screw a long time ago in one of my other videos. But let's see. So that's free. There's gotta be something else that's holding it. To start disconnecting the turbo out of the bottom block, you're going to use a T40 Torx key and unbolt this screw right here, and there you go. Set that off to the side, then pop this out. Now that we got this turbo oil hose off from the bottom of the block, we're going to move this top hose right here with it's the same kind of clamp where you press together and you squeeze out. That's holding the turbo to the bottom of the block. So yeah, this is what I mean. How the whole thing can be freely moved. The turbo, the top of the block, and the exhaust system. I mean, yes, I could just disconnect one by one. It's gonna be pretty heavy carrying it like this, but it's pretty much disconnected, and I can definitely pick it up with one hand. It would definitely help if I had two people to do this, or me and somebody else. I figured out. I mean, I'm not gonna take this out yet because I don't even know. I'm gonna pull the whole engine out, but with actual professional tools, I just wanted to see how the pistons are. Piston number 2 is. This is gonna be a lot longer than obviously I expected. So just stay tuned for my future videos. This is gonna be a lot longer, and I'm buying a car pretty soon. So check that out. Peace.